Hello, Dale from Arc Hi-Fi. Today I will present 3 bargain bin album covers that would make great wall art in your listening room. If you're looking to spruce up your musical listening area or add some musical elements throughout your house, framing album covers is a great and economical way to add some flair to your areas. Frames are fairly cheap. You can get them really cheap on Amazon. You can go to Target, any of the craft stores. They all have different types of frames, different mattings, whatever you want. But if you really want something out of the ordinary, that's not the typical prints of albums that you see in people's homes, like Beatles, Pink Floyd, the Blue Note covers, is go to your record store's bargain bin. And for under $5, you can really get some nice, unique pieces or records that would be great conversation pieces. And I will show you 3 examples here that I'm thinking of framing and adding to my listening room. First one here is the Broomwar Quintet on Fantasy Records. This is a late 50s album. I saw this in a bargain bin, and I actually thought what attracted me to this record was the cover. I thought it was actually like a prog rock, psychedelic 60s record, but it came out in the 50s, late 50s. And this looks like something that you would find on a King Crimson LP, not a jazz record. And the record's really good too. But for a couple bucks, I figured I'd pick it up because it looks interesting. It is a really good record, but I like the album cover. I think I'm going to hang it up somewhere down here, and I think this would make a great conversation piece. Next is you can go into a bargain bin and find tons of like Dixieland jazz, big band records, cheap. Covers are in good shape. Sometimes the records are in really good shape. Especially Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong records are a dime a dozen, and they're cheap. And this Ambassador Satch album has that famous iconic photo of Louis with his briefcase. And I'm really thinking about framing this. The story behind this picture is, Louis got this briefcase from his marijuana dealer. It was full of pot, and he was not about to set it down to go do the photo session. So he insisted that be nearby, and thus you have this iconic picture. Now, as a drummer, I'm always attracted to, drumming records, especially big band. And as I said earlier, big band albums are a dime a dozen in the used bargain bins. And this is one cover that I'm thinking about blowing up and turning it into a big giant wall canvas or giant sized print to cover an entire wall. And that's this Gene Krupa Rocks record. It was on the Verve label. I never really saw this record before until I saw it in a bargain bin. And it's really a good record, but the cover really speaks to Gene Krupa. Gene Krupa really was the first rock drummer, in my opinion. And not that he played rock music, but he played loud, big band music. Your big players of the 60s and 70s, like John Bonham and Ginger Baker, looked up to guys like Krupa. And a lot of their style comes from these guys. Many people have been searching for years, wondering how does John Bonham tune his drum set, because it sounds so big and huge. And in fact, Bonham's drums are sampled in hundreds of songs. But all Bonham did was tune the drums like a big band drummer. He had a big 26-inch bass drum. The bass drum was actually tuned fairly high. It wasn't the low end dead thud that's so common. Had these huge toms, and he was recorded with basically 3 microphones. So you're getting the drums and the relationship with the room and the echoes and reverb and everything that comes naturally in a space such as that. And that's basically how Krupa recorded when he did record. Back then they didn't have the technology, so he was probably lucky to have 1 microphone, and a lot of the reverb from the room is represented in those recordings. And Krupa had to play hard. I mean, amplification was not near what it was now, if he had any at all, in some of those venues. So he had to keep up with the loud brass section. But this cover would I think it'd make a great T-shirt. but really I'm thinking about making a print on this. And I might do a instructional video down the road here where I take a photo of this, touch it up, then send it off and have a print made. You know, you can do the same yourself, even with an iPhone. You know, an iPhone you can have a pretty good sized print made of a 12 megapixel photo. These are 3 examples that I found in bargain bins, and I'm not a big bargain bin shopper, but they were on the top of the pile, and the covers interested me, so I had to take a look. So shoot me an email at dale@archifi.net, or in the comments below, show some examples of your album cover art and what you did, maybe some unique albums that most of us may not have heard of. Also, hit the like button, and please hit subscribe. I really appreciate the positive feedback I've had so far on this channel, and we're going to keep growing and keep adding content every week. So until next time, take care.